ask you, Congresswoman, about the priorities of Michigan voters. I spoke with the mayor of Hamtramck, R-Mich, this weekend on Sunday Morning Futures about why he and so many other Arab Americans in his community are actually endorsing President Trump. Watch this. Can you tell us why you've endorsed President Trump?
It was a combination of disappointment and hope. Disappointment at the current administration and how they handle the situation in the Middle East, because that's one of the most important determinant factor of our decision who to vote for as Arab Americans this time. And a hope that some change will bring peace to the Middle East. And we found President Trump is so determined about that. And his message is a message of peace. For us at this time is accomplishing ceasefire and peace, bringing peace to the Middle East. Kamala Harris has been in the office for the past 3 years. And during the whole year of war in the Middle East, I supported the uncommitted movement in Michigan to send a strong message to the current administration to take our concerns into consideration, but nothing was happening. In fact, they completely neglected us, and negligence became the norm, and everything else is an exception. She added insult to the wound by appointing some pro-war radicals like Liz Cheney to be her top military advisors.
Congresswoman, your thoughts on R-Mich's commentary there? I should point out that the mayor of Hamtramck is a Democrat. So he had a lot of pushback because he endorsed President Trump. He went against the party.
Yeah, also the mayor of Dearborn Heights endorsed President Trump. And I think the reason why they've done it is because President Trump has been steadfast with his support. He hasn't flip-flopped like Kamala Harris, right? Depending on who she's talking to, she's got a different story, and people know that. People feel that. Not to mention, actions speak louder than words. During President Trump's administration, there was exactly 0 wars overseas, different than what we're experiencing now with the world being on fire. So the compare and contrast is extremely different. Under President Trump, no wars, the economy was good, but he's never wavered from his policy. Different than the Harris campaign, she doesn't know where she stands, and it depends on who she's speaking with. They know that, they feel that, and they want the same thing that we want, and that's peace and traditional American values. That's why you not only see them endorsing President Trump, but they are active in their communities, getting their communities to vote for President Trump. So they won't stay silent and stay home. They're actually getting out there and voting for President Trump.
Another race being closely watched is the Michigan Senate race. That's Elisa Slotkin and Mike Rogers. What are your expectations there?
You know, I think this one is going to be razor thin as well. But again, I'm extremely optimistic with Mike Rogers. And all you have to do on this one, again, is compare and contrast. Mike Rogers served our country actually in uniform. He's done the job, sat on the Intel committee. In fact, I think was the chairman of the Intel committee. He knows what it takes to be a good leader. He also knows what it takes to get this economy back on track, especially for Michiganders. He puts Michigan and Michigan's jobs first. And what I mean by that is Elisa Slotkin is in favor of the Goshen plant, which is CCP owned. Disgraceful. Mike Rogers wants Michigan jobs for Michiganders. Completely very different strategies. So I'm going to give the edge to Mike Rogers on this, and he's been working hard and really resonating with folks in the state.
You make a good point about the plant, which is Chinese owned, because China is on the ballot as well. The CCP wants to overtake the United States as the #1 superpower. They've been undermining the United States throughout the Biden-Harris administration with very little pushback from these two. What, in addition to that, and of course the Middle East, what other priorities do you believe are front and center for Michigan voters? And do you think that low propensity voter will come out? How would you assess the field in terms of people who don't vote as often as you would like, but whether or not they'll come out this time around?
Well, I think the main issue is economy, the economy, the economy.
Yeah.
We've talked about this many times before. Inflation has just really wreaked havoc on the state of Michigan. We just had, especially with the EV mandates, we just had a plant close in Warren and laid off 2,000 people right, a month ago. That's not positive. So the economy is top of mind and top of the list. The low propensity voter, I think, is coming out. If you look at the early ballots, 1.2 million people have already voted in Michigan, which is crazy, right? It's good to see people are engaged. Now, I will say there still are a lot of voters that I'm hopeful that will be at the polls today. So if you haven't voted, make sure that you get out there and vote, because your vote matters.
Okay.
But clearly, Maria, the issue on the ballot is the economy, because Michiganders are suffering under this Biden-Harris administration.
Congresswoman, thank you. Congresswoman McClain joining us in Michigan.